In early 1941, an Italian army 5 times bigger than the British force facing it collapsed anyway. 130,000 men taken prisoner in one campaign. A year later, a mostly Italian force helped inflict one of the worst Allied defeats in North Africa, killing or capturing 50,000 Allied troops while losing almost nothing. Same country, same soldiers, wildly different outcomes. The difference was who was giving the orders. And that's basically the whole story of why Italy is remembered as the weak link of the Axis. Italy barely won anything on its own. It couldn't even beat Greece. It didn't last the full war, switching sides in 1943 once Allied troops reached the mainland. So what went wrong? Mussolini seized power in 1922 and spent the next 2 decades dreaming of rebuilding the Roman Empire. He invaded Ethiopia in 1935, poured troops into the Spanish Civil War, and crushed Albania in 5 days. In 1939, he signed the Pact of Steel with Hitler, then found out about the invasion of Poland the same way everyone else did. Italy wasn't ready. Mussolini had told Hitler outright it wouldn't be combat ready until 1943. He joined the war anyway, mostly out of fear of looking weak. Early on, it looked fine. Italy grabbed a slice of France after Germany did the real work. Then it overextended everywhere at once: British Somaliland, Egypt, Greece. The Greek invasion turned into a humiliating stalemate. In Egypt, 36,000 British troops routed 150,000 Italians, capturing nearly all of them for the cost of 2,000 casualties. Italy lost East Africa entirely by mid-1941. By 1943, after German reinforcements briefly turned the tide in North Africa, the whole front collapsed, Sicily fell, and Mussolini was voted out by his own government. Italy flipped to the Allies. So why was Italy this bad? 2 reasons: bad equipment and bad leadership. Italy's industrial base was tiny. Less than 1/3 of its workforce worked in industry, versus 42% in Germany. Its total output was the lowest of any major combatant, roughly what Germany had a full 40 years earlier. Corruption made it worse. Arms manufacturers formed cartels, defrauded the state, and threatened strikes to force the military into buying overpriced junk. Italian industry still hand-built weapons while everyone else mass-produced them. An Italian battleship cost twice what a French one did. The numbers show it. Italy had 11 vehicles per 1,000 people versus 25 in Germany and 50+ in Britain and France. It built 10,000 aircraft during the war to Germany's 60,000 and America's 157,000. Tanks were worse. About 4,000 total, only 500 with a gun worth mentioning, versus 19,000 from Germany and 58,000 from the US. And what Italy did build was often garbage. Its main light tank, the L3, could be pierced by machine gun fire. Its medium tank used riveted steel so brittle a hit could shatter the whole vehicle. Most had no radios. The leadership problem ran just as deep. Unlike Hitler or Stalin, Mussolini never had total control. King Victor Emmanuel III remained the official head of state and commander-in-chief, meaning top officers swore allegiance to the crown, not the fascist party. Mussolini deeply distrusted the aristocratic officer class, suspecting their loyalties lay with the monarchy, while the traditional generals viewed the fascist black-shirt militia and political sycophants with utter contempt. To keep potential military rivals in check, Mussolini constantly rotated top brass, hoarded the war ministries for himself without possessing any operational competence, and promoted yes-men over strategists. Generals lied to him about troop readiness to keep their jobs, and Mussolini gave disastrous strategic orders based on those fabricated reports. It was a mutual paralysis, a dictator who couldn't trust his commanders, and a military elite quietly waiting for a chance to pull the rug out from under him. He spent more energy undercutting rivals like General Badoglio than building a real command structure. The Army, Navy, and Air Force barely cooperated. The Air Force actively refused to support ground troops just to avoid looking subordinate. Italy fought in Greece, North Africa, East Africa, and the Eastern Front simultaneously, way beyond what it could sustain. Tactically, commanders made baffling calls, like arranging a modern army into an old-fashioned defensive square that got picked apart piece by piece at Operation Compass. And that's what makes the Gazala comparison so striking. The same Italian soldiers rooted at Compass fought under German command a year later at the Battle of Gazala and helped inflict 50,000 Allied casualties while losing only 3,000 of their own. Rommel himself praised how well they fought. Churchill called it one of the war's heaviest blows. The soldiers were never the problem. The equipment was outdated and scarce, and the leadership was fractured and self-sabotaging. Put those two things together, and you get Italy's World War II.